Hi, I'm Wayward, and this is Servo. I'm here to talk a little bit about the game, some of the pros, cons, why you might be interested, why you might not be interested. Um, I think it's a very interesting title. Certainly there's some concerns with the current status, but it is an alpha. There's some very obviously unfinished stuff in it. But I think it bears some looking into and some explanation. So let's get started. Okay, what is Servo? In the broadest strokes, it's your basic real-time strategy game. Its focus is on building and expanding an economy at the expense of your opponents trying to do the same thing, acquiring resources and holding territory, and ultimately about armies, in this case featuring giant robots, facing off in spectacular fashion as players vie for economic and tactical supremacy. However, of course, it does have a couple of systems up its sleeve that BonusXP, the developer, thinks will tickle the fancy of RTS gamers. First off, of course, there are the servos. Let's take a look at those real quick. So the hangar is one of the single most important aspects of this game. It's here that players take your pilot head chassis, your two shoulder mounts, your two weapons options, two software or firmware, I guess they call them, and the legs, and you combine these together to build mechs. And you can take up to 3 mechs into combat with you. You see we have Hawk, Blink, and Reese currently are the pilots I have available to me. Each component can have a variety of abilities, from modifying servo hit points, such as this one, which increases hit points by 100. You see that little pop-up there. Dealing damage, like this assassin's rifle, which also has an ability associated with it. The loader barrage pod here shoots missiles on a cooldown, and this acid pool grenade launcher shoots acid grenades on a cooldown. They can also do things like decrease or increase hit points for your units, or increase the number of units you can have. This one increases a different unit's hit points, though it does also increase the cost. So, much like your other build your own units games out there, there are very few of them, but your increases can come at commensurate costs. So there's some cost benefit analysis going on as you're building these. But you can swap out the heads, you can swap out the chassis, and they have various different attributes. Of course, this is a founder item, so it's currently one of the better ones that I have available to me. Let's go with the bling head again. So the ultimate effect is somewhat like that of what you would see in a MOBA. You know, as you build these parts together, your servo gains abilities and attributes that focus it more on ranged combat or crowd control or a variety of different things. But servos are more than that. They can affect your economy, they can affect the quality and cost of your army. Servos are really bigger than, in many ways, than in MOBA or Warcraft heroes. Pilots have unique abilities that really change the dynamic of the servo they're driving. Hawk, for instance, can control minions or creeps on the map, much like you'd see creeps in Warcraft 3. There are creeps in this game. And Hawk can control one of them. Reese here has an orbital laser that deals damage based on your tech level, and we'll get into that shortly. And then Blink, of course, given the name, Blink can teleport. And now let's jump into a game and look at the gameplay. So we're going to do a solo play, a skirmish, and I'll kind of walk you through how the game works and the various aspects that go into a servo match. So we've already seen the hangar, and you build these mechs outside of combat. You pick a primary pilot. I've chosen Reese. The way I've built him kind of suits the early game a little better, I think. So you have to call in that pilot first, and then your other two you can call as you increase your tech level. We'll look at that shortly. So in the game, broadly, you drop in your servo, like so. And your servo has a build radius around it, as do several other units and structures. Okay. Let's see what we're looking at. Okay, so to expand in this game, looks like we have to take out these creeps. Makes me kind of feel like I should have gotten Hawk as my first guy, but okay. And you have barracks, and you have these turrets and refineries, and the refineries have upgrades, and the okay, taking that out. You'll also notice that there is absolutely no fog of war in this game. That's kind of, I'm not sure how I feel about that, to be perfectly honest. Okay, so he's expanding over here. We're expanding down this way. I'm going to build another factory. Your population limit is based on the number of factories you have, so getting additional factories is going to be important for me to be able to call in more units. And you see that there's been a meteor strike, and what happens when a meteor strikes is these blue spawns spawn out of it. I'm going to build not a factory, but I want to build a turret. I can't do that yet. Okay, so you see these guys hit pretty hard. Let's try to get him out of here. Losing a servo is not a good thing to have happen. Fortunately, this dropship will heal me right up. Okay, so my opponent is still kind of focusing on this edge where I have the shield generator. So you got these. Is there only one or are there two? I thought there were two. Two shield generators here, and once you take those shield gens out, three. There's actually three. Once you take those out, I can't even. Oh, they must have changed it. Oh, you've got to pay for it. Weird. That makes the beacon more important. Okay, so I've got this pretty big army over here. Let's go take out some blue spots, shall we? While I'm at it, let's drop in a new servo. I'm going to pick Hawk. Seems like he'd be good for the job. Let's come down here and I've got a pretty big army of these soldier drones. And when I hit the next SCON level, I'll be able to build more units. So your SCON level works very much like in Age of Empires. It comes associated with a bunch of different. Okay, let's take Hawk here, and this guy a pet. Okay. Let's also build a beacon, which provides a drop zone and also will heal my units. Let's bring you up here and capture that so I get additional income. And then let's try and nip this in the bud. Build another factory. I want to build an airfield this time. Regardless of what factory type you purchase, it increases your general population cap, but I have... Come on. Okay. There we go, took out one of their servos, took out the other one. Good shape here for the most part. Reese has a lot of really high damage capabilities. Let's get back here to my beacon. Oh, and I lost Hawk. I'm in a bit of a way here. This is... Talk about your bad timing. Phew, that thing's nasty. Unfortunately, no, I don't have it available yet. now I do. That big servo is just crazy. You see, there are very potent strategic and tactical options in the game. Okay. Looks like they're doing a pretty good job right now of fighting me. Build a beacon. Got healing going on. Okay. Oop, I need to come back. Build another factory, another air factory. Build some turrets. Oh boy. The creeps are coming down on me. Okay, so we're doing a pretty good job here. Let's convert this guy. Another turret. So there's a variety of tactical and strategic options you've got to consider in this game. Actually come convert one of these guys so I can get a little bit extra firepower while I'm waiting. Oh, I took out their servo again. Let's come on down here, let's get these guys back to get some more production. Get a bunch of build another airfield and get Reese down here. Oh boy. Let's pull back, let's pull back. Oh no. We're doing pretty good, pretty good. There's big servos. They're just nasty. For you. Always want to use any tools we have access to, of course. Okay. It seems like over time the enemies get more and more powerful. Let's increase our income a little bit. Just intercepting my guys en route. Let's go take out this shield so we can start actually hurting them. There we go. Building up a little army over here. Let's get you guys involved in this combat. Let's get you out of here. Maybe heal him. Okay, we're doing pretty good. Pretty good. I've kind of stopped talking about the game, more editorializing what I'm doing. We're not in a bad spot. Looks like at least one of their other shield gens has been taken out. And go to SCON 3, get Blink. Get my army back down here. Woohoo! Okay, now we're cooking. Now we're in business. Let's go to Tech Lab up here. And the next build they're actually going to have some really interesting stuff going on. They're going to have an economic unit, which I'm really looking forward to. Let's take you and make you a pet. Let's build another factory. Did that not work? Yeah, it did. Okay, so once we get through this playthrough, we're going to be able to talk a little more. See, so the game really starts to become more broad scale. Okay, they're way on the other side of the map, but we can build some turrets. Oop, can't, in fact. They don't have a beacon up there. Oh well. I think with this destroyed, we'll be able to just take out their base and win. They've got one more shield gen to take out. Let's try to protect that. Why not? Let's go take out their base, shall we? Let's do this. Can't order an attack move just yet. This should be fun though. This is gonna get crazy. Let's build some beacons to support our assault. Let's do this. Pretty good, doing pretty good. Not super great. Beacon, build maybe some turrets, and all kinds of resources. Go right for there. Right for their dropship. That's how you win. Take out the dropship. Come on, you guys. Alright. Okay, so we won that one. Okay, so we did get a little bit off topic there, but let's go back through it. So let's go back to skirmish. And we'll take this slowly. We're not going to try to win this time. We're just going to kind of walk through everything. You see, okay. So the same map. You call in your servo. Your factory has your 3 basic unit types: soldier drones, which is the only thing available at Tech 1. At Tech 2, the behemoth drone and the demolition drone become available. You also have air factories that don't become available till Tier 2, and laboratories don't become available till Tier 2. You have beacons, which provide drop zone. You see that also that servos do. These are bloom wells. They provide the game's only real resource. So if you go to the build menu, see it lets you drop buildings around the servo. Units, you see an individual unit. These guys have 300 hit points, where my servo has 900. Servos, I think of this class, I've seen around 1,000 hit points is not inconsiderable. They have 800 hit points by default. So it's 15 DPS. My servo currently does 42. So the servo is more powerful than the units, but not substantially so. You're still going to have the option to use units. They're not inconsiderable. Also, if you zoom way in, it's hard to see. Right there, see that? This little people. That's the size of the servo in comparison to the human. There's absolutely no fog of war, so you can always see what your enemy's doing. It's interesting the number of Stardot games that actually do this, because Offworld Trading Company also has no fog of war. I don't know if that's a Stardot thing or just a coincidence. You see these pretty nifty force fields here. In this case, it's a game condition. Destroy these 3 structures. These shield generators, the third one. That's down here. And then you can attack the dropship. With a name like dropship, I would really hope you'd be able to move the dropship. That'd be awesome if you could move it around the map, wherever you want it. But that's beside the point. Okay, so what else do we have? Most structures come with upgrades, and in fact, of course, the tech lab has several upgrades. What else? Bastions, these exist in several levels. They are just a big nasty turret, kind of like base defenses in a MOBA. Of course, the refinery has 2 upgrades, mining speed and yield. So that's the rate at which you gain resources and the rate per trip. That's pretty much the basics. A lot of your variability in battle, every player has the same units available to them at this point. You do have these. We've seen how these guys spawn. I know they've actually got some aggressive unit production going on. That's kind of cool. That laser, I think they're going to have to decrease the size of that area of effect. That's most of it, honestly. I think matches tend to feel, except for in this case where I'm not really playing, tend to feel very back and forth because servos are free. That really, you don't have all those resources to worry about building and rebuilding them. It's just about everything. There are a variety of game modes. Basically, every map is its own game mode, which is pretty cool. Ball of farts. I thought it said ball of parts, but I guess not. I think that's some sort of damage over time effect. that also heals the caster. I'm going to lose this one, of course. They've got me kind of cordoned off. But I wanted to stop and describe the economy and base building aspect of the game briefly, at least. One concern I do have is, since you make all these decisions ahead of time before the match has even started, that can be a real pain point for players. You know, you have a lot of your decisions already made for you before you even start playing, which is a bit of a problem. I'm also not 100% sold on this everyone has the same units, because you end up building most every unit in every match. So it's only just really at that point a matter of efficiency, more than leveraging any sort of unique tactical advantage your side might have. Now there's a great deal of variability with servos. You see this one guy with 2 swords and this monstrosity up here with these 2 guns, and I'm not even sure if it has shoulder pods. I don't know. I've not used these chassis yet, but the servos themselves have a lot of options, and when and if I ever reach ServoCon 3, you would see that I could pick any pilot I have available. So if I have, I assume, 10 or 15 pilots, then my options become greatly expanded, which again is in of itself a potential issue. So there's not all sunshine and roses here. It's an interesting concept, but you know, I can just sit here and watch what he's doing, and you know, potentially just counter it, either through which servos I pick or through playing better. But right now, it's just if I have more resources, I can build more units, and you know, what's my opponent going to do at that point? There are a variety of different ways to play the game, and there's cooperative modes as well as competitive ones, which are always nice to see. But some definite concerns on my part. Although I do have a lot of praise for the game as well. I think it's fun. It feels to me like a combination of, let's say, StarCraft and Air Mech. I haven't been playing it at particularly high skill ceiling here, but I do feel like there's a lot of possibility for high-level play, both mechanically and what you would say economically. Especially with the addition in the next version of those economic units, which you'll be able to build to produce more bloom at a bloom well. So you've got some pluses going on. Let's build a laboratory. Look at those techs briefly. Looks like okay, so he's that backpack there. Oops, that's weird. It's an alpha. That backpack there has some sort of economic or unit-based effect. Just interesting to note. Yeah, not a lot I can say at this point. Can of minimum. I love the automated name thing. So they've got a good formula here. I hope to see them improve the specifics over time. Some definite concerns, again, including the fact that you have to purchase parts. And it's all, at this point at least, with in-game currency, although when you complete a match, let's jump out of this and look at that real quick. Quit. Home. Yes. Okay, so let's go back to the hangar. Okay, so we have our options. A stun grenade launcher, actually. That's better than what I had in there, which I think was the EMP grenade launcher. Anyway, stuns. Awesome. So you get, when you complete a mission, you get currency and then scrap, and you can spend that in the store, which they've called Drek's Den. I think that's kind of a nod, like, yeah, okay, this is, you're gonna have to deal with this. But I think it's pretty fair so far. You buy these loot crates, and you get decent parts. You get Behemoth firmware for the Behemoth drone, hair trigger pistol, which is just a laser pistol, and you can also buy a rotating selection of premium parts, which you purchase with scrap. So I assume they'll let you purchase scrap for money, real cash. I'm not sure. I don't know that for a fact. But it stands to reason. Cold stunner pistol. Stun and freeze. Yikes. Space pirate sword. Interesting. So they have a ways to go in these interfaces as well. You can sort by rarity and turn on and off. Let's just say I just want to do artisan parts. But then of course you can't sort those parts based on types. So you see, this is a generic melee upgrade. This is the same thing, it looks like. Just better, maybe. Oh, this is critical hit. That increases health, that increases armor, and has a block ability. That just makes pistols deal more damage and also has innate damage, but no abilities. And then when we go to the servo hangar, you see at this point at least there's no real way to filter based on rarity. Or anything. The servos do look pretty cool though. I don't think I have any, yeah, I don't have a behemoth type at this point. In fact, I may not even be eligible. I need 400 more XP to get to the next level. Maybe you don't get them till level 5 or something. But that's Servo. Definitely has potential, and I'm going to watch its development with interest. Thank you for watching. Please leave any questions or comments below, and I will be happy to answer them. Thank you so much. Have a great day.